All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to episode 48 of HiBruiNation. Bruins start strong. I am joined by my, I guess, usual co-host and a very special guest, hopefully current, or well, not current, but future permanent resident here on HiBruiNation, and Jack Finn, one of my old teammates in beer league buddies.
I know,
Guys,
ex-teammate now, ex-teammate. The rivalry is there. It's big and strong.
Because you can get
I know,
traded
right?
in the league now.
Dude, I did get traded in beer league. It was me and one other guy
It was
from our
wild.
team. It was kind of nuts. Yeah, like I honestly,
Unexpected.
you know what's
though.
even
Unexpected
crazier,
for sure.
Steve?
Very unexpected.
You know what's crazy, Steve? We actually play each other this week. So technically, my first game is going to be back against my former team. And actually, hopefully, Jeff shows up to this one, and I hope he listens to this. So him and I need to connect on the lines and
Hey Jeff,
put
we
a
got to
couple
connect.
past you. Hey, yeah, Jeff, you got to connect.
Come on,
show
Jeff.
up this
Call
time.
Jeff out. And I'm actually representing your team, unironically.
I know the red color.
I know.
Right.
It's
Steve,
right.
if you were out here in Massachusetts, we would have loved to have you out here. And it's actually a great league. Great league.
Oh, beer league's the best. When people aren't trying to fight each other 24/7, it's the best. I mean,
There was actually almost a fight in the game after my game last week. Two
That
guys
doesn't
almost
Yeah,
surprise
fought.
no
me.
promises,
Yeah.
Jack.
I've ref probably close to
Come on, buddy.
300 men's league games in probably 4 years. And
That's
there's
a lot
always
of games.
usually it's a lot of games, but yeah, there's always at least two a night, and it happens. But again, would it be men's league or beer league if grown adults who have work in the morning weren't trying to kill each other? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I
Exactly.
think that would go outside the definition.
Right.
Ours is pretty tame. I mean, it's fun. It gets a little chippy sometimes, but there hasn't been an actual guys face washing each other until this past week, which I was
Give it a couple
to
weeks.
see. Give it a couple.
I don't want to throw him under the bus. Did you? So I heard that Jared got ejected the game before you. Yeah, I think that, or the game after you.
It
yeah,
had to be a game after. Yeah. No, can't
yeah,
speak.
that was crazy.
I know nothing.
Yeah, no, it's a bad day for English for me. It's been bad. Long day, dude. Long day. But we got a good show for everybody. We have a great show. We're going to talk about the surprising start to the Boston Bruins season. They go
3-0.
3-0 and oh.
It's back on.
Nobody predicted.
Oh fuck! You're gonna make me
3-0-0.
believe.
Yeah, legit.
It's just belief.
Does this team,
Quoted Marchand. Just belief.
Oh my god,
dude?
Marchand's a whole other thing. I hate it. I want to puke every time I see the color red on him.
Oh,
It's gonna be burned.
he's
Burned
got.
in still. Speaking of red
He's
again.
got 3 points. Dude, he's got 3 points in as many games as Florida. I don't want to get into it. We're gonna focus. We're
Hold on,
I was
while we're
gonna
on that,
cry
while we're on that, did you see his goal?
on Omar.
what?
Yeah,
Oh my god, what a snipe! That was beautiful, beautiful.
This is
I loved
Textbook,
it.
man. Textbook Marshy.
oh man, it breaks my heart. But hey, no one would have thought 3-0 start. You know what? I'll give Steve credit. Steve did say that they were going to go at least 2-1. Jack wasn't here for last week for his predictions, but I'm assuming Jack definitely didn't have them, 3-0-0 either. Like probably
Honestly,
the one game being the challenge
now
game
again,
now.
hindsight's 2020. If I put all these first 3 games together and the opponents and their skill level, I would say, yeah, there's a pretty good shot. But it's still, given it's the Bruins and what we're dealing with, it's a nice surprise. And I thought maybe I'd go with you on Cam that Buffalo would stun us, but it's Buffalo.
Yeah. I had okay.
Which, by the way, he
texted
texted me saying I have Buffalo, and in my mind I was like, no, there's no way, there's no shot.
But why? Exactly.
Well, why?
Why? Okay, listen.
I have enough misery already.
I had, for common sense reasons, I had them losing against the Caps. The Caps are a playoff team. They're a good team. They're gonna. I had them beating us. They were just, I think, better on paper.
Honestly,
but-
I did too. I did too. I mean, again, now it makes sense they won, but Caps in the position they are, no one expected them to be. Can we just say last year, when they were as good as they were, I was with everyone and saying, why are these guys this good? This doesn't make sense. And Ovi was chasing his record and everything, and then the whole season just
Cinderella year.
Yeah, no way to put it.
Yep.
It was incredible.
Now, just suffice it to say, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen again. I still think they're a very good team. Defensively, they're pretty good. I think offensively, they're sound. Pierre-Luc Dubois, a whole bunch of Ryan. Is it Dylan Strome or Ryan Strome? I can never remember which Strome is on there.
Oh, it's Dylan Strome. Yeah, Dylan Strome.
Both of them are fitting like gloves. Ryan Leonard looks like he's going to be a force to be played with. Tom Wilson's a prick, and he's a fucking pansy for not fighting. But like the Washington Capitals game was definitely a surprise. That was a pleasantly welcome surprise. I'll take that.
Yep.
But Jeremy Swayman won you that game.
Yeah, Pastrnak's first goal, man. I mean, he does that a bunch. I was like, there's no other way to start the season than with that. He just loves to get on net, and sometimes from far traffic, and for some reason it goes in because it's Pastrnak. He knows where to put it, but it was just a perfect like greasy goal.
And you know
Way
what?
to put it.
He had a total of 3 points that night, and he showed out. I mean, that's what you're expecting from your number one player on your team, right? I mean, I'm not expecting a three point night every night, but I'm expecting him to show up on the score sheet almost every game. He's more than a point per game player, and
Absolutely.
he needs to continue showing up. A Gino and an Apple will be very nice every night, and hey, I'll take it, especially right now, especially against the tough. The Caps are definitely one of the best defensive teams, probably in the Metro, and probably in the Eastern.
Not saying much for the Metro. They're the Metro.
I know.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still.
But yeah.
Metro's been oof lately.
Yeah. I mean, Metro's kind of shit. I mean, again, premier division of hockey is definitely the Atlantic, but
I'd argue the Pacific too. Between those two. Or sorry, not the Pacific. I'm sorry, not the Pacific.
No, Pacific has some up and coming teams. You've got the Ducks, you got the Sharks, who are excuse my French, ass still, but they've got bright spots.
Yep,
they
do.
Did you say the Ducks are ass?
On the come up of not being ass. I think they actually could have a good season.
I think they could have a good season too.
No, I think actually so. Like that's what I've read and listened to kind of before. Some people's opinions were positive for them, and I was like, okay,
the Ducks are a team
news.
that need the time. Give them a couple weeks in this season, then the Ducks will find their bearing. They got a whole bunch of new guys, new coach, new everything. So I think give them time. But credit to Boston for the Capitals, Steve. I know you probably had a couple of things to say, but I just want to say Swayman won them that game, and I'll let you continue to your point with the Capitals.
Wouldn't have been close without him.
Not just Swayman coming up big in that game, right? That PK looked a little different. How many block shots do those boys have that night? I mean, they really stepped up. And you know what? Whatever. They got into some penalty trouble. They only gave up 5 penalties throughout the game. But boy, did the Caps make them feel it on the defensive end every time they went down a man. And you know what? To have the PK show up and block shots game 1 already, like it's a big turnaround of this is the more typical approach to the Boston Bruins as we haven't seen in the past couple of years. But they're kind of getting right on the back track. If you're going to fall into penalty trouble, which we have last year, we were terrible with penalties. You got to step up and not let it, not let games go to 7-2 final score, right? Like you got to step up and do what they were doing. And I think the PK bailed them out. I think Swayman bailed them out even more.
To your point on the block shots, to Steve's point on the block shots, we had 23 block shots that game compared to Washington's 11. Let that sink in.
That's crazy.
We doubled
They barely broke double digits.
Yeah.
But I mean, in a typical, regular season NHL game, you're not expecting to block that many shots. I don't think so. No.
Not unless you're on the penalty kill. I will say that. Not unless you're on the penalty kill, which I believe the Bruins penalty kill is still 100%.
Dude, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's a total flip from last year. It's like it's totally different. I mean, you can see the flip of script from last year to this year, and there's a bunch of contingencies there and things that are better, but it's already night and day, way better moving forward.
I felt with the Capitals that was a good team win. The team defense was there. Your first line showed up that game, but again, first game of the season, you're probably shaking a lot of rust off. It's the first game that you guys are actually playing together as a whole team. So that's a lot of things can happen in that game. But I thought the top line showed up. The team defense was there. The team offense, I mean, obviously could have used a little work. They did double our shots. So, I mean, I'm taking that victory. I am taking that victory against Washington, but I'm taking it with a grain of salt because, then our next 2 opponents were, the Chicago Blackhawks, who are still trying to figure it out.
With Bedard, they're like, better. Here's Bedard. go for it. But
You know what?
Steve will
Right.
have some stuff on that, and then but just to complete my thought, just real quick, and then then you go and play the Sabres. Like those final two teams of the week, they're not playoff teams. You know what I mean? The Sabres need to be. They really starting to need to be, but we can get into that. But in the second game with the Blackhawks, I felt the Hawks were in it a little bit more against us. It was the second game on a back-to-back. So Boston was probably maybe slightly fatigued, not a lot. But then, you look at Chicago was in it right with us until until the very end. So Chicago is showing signs.
Oh, they're showing signs. I mean, so Jackie, you know this. I'm living in Chicago now. My girlfriend's a huge Blackhawks fan, right? So I'm usually
as she should be,
should be. Yeah. So I'm usually on one screen I have the Bruins on, and I usually got the Hawks on the other screen. So
you're being pulled both ways. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's separate divisions, separate conferences. It's not as big of a deal.
Chicago's
will make it.
I'll defend Steve. Chicago and Detroit, I feel like are just two teams you just can't hate. I know 2013.
They go way back,
but
man. They have a heritage.
Yeah,
it's there.
They're celebrating their 100th year. They're celebrating their 100th year this year. The original Six franchise. Hard to hate any original Six franchise.
Yeah, you have respect for them.
Well, almost the Leafs.
Yeah,
in Montreal. Sorry, those two I could hate all day.
Did you see how much they got spanked by Detroit? It was incredible.
That was even funnier. And I loved every second of it. And then I did watch the Habs play Chicago, and you know what? That team hung in there with them. I mean, they tied it up, and the game ended. Last 15 seconds they ended up scoring. The Habs ended up scoring, but say what you want, but Chicago's a tough team, and they're going to grind you down a little bit. And I think that's what they did against the Bruins, and I think that's kind of what their identity is. I mean, Bedard's definitely shaping up. He's put on some weight. Nazar is going to be.
When I saw they signed him to that contract, I looked him up because I wasn't plugged in much with him or see much of what the player was, and then I looked in. I was like, okay, this is an absolute steal. This is a up and coming emerging young player who can now help take some of the weight off Bedard and help a little more balance. But I mean that's the extent of it. But he's looked great so far. He had their first goal of their season, which doesn't matter long run, but that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. So. And you know what? But again, I think the identity of both of these teams, right? It kind of showed out in the Bruins versus Hawks, right? To give credit to Chicago, but also to the Bruins, where again, like Cam said, they're coming off of a travel day, back to backs, and it's the grit of it, right? I didn't expect it to go to overtime, but the fatigue, playing the Caps before, running around in their own defensive end, and that does take a toll and all that stuff. But again, identity type game. But the Caps game was definitely an identity game as well. They told you the playbook. They're going to stack the blue line on the neutral zone entries from to the defensive end, and it's going to be a gritty type game the whole way. It's again Claude Julien hockey, 1970s hockey, and it is what it is. So buckle up. And you know what? Say what you want.
I miss it though. Why do I miss it?
It's not even about
you miss it. Hold on, I need to address that. You miss that snooze fest of hockey where you just.
You think it's a snooze fest? You're out of your fucking tree.
I can't.
Listen, I heard Claude Julien. I remember, time when the Bruins were actually contending and won a championship, but then also choked a little.
Okay, sure. We were.
That's what I miss. Listen, that's what I miss, Cam. But from then on, in that time period of the slow hockey, which, granted, I was pretty young, so I don't remember much from then, I guess. But I don't think I miss that because that is.
I didn't feel that this was at all slow hockey. I thought this was gritty hockey, and I love gritty hockey. There's nothing like watching a game. Again, Buffalo Sabres. The game was 2-1 until the last 2 seconds of the game. Right?
That was a slow, exactly like you said, just gritty game.
It's a gritty game.
There wasn't
one mistake is going to cost you the game.
Exactly. I was surprised by how tight they kept it. I mean, credit to Sabres for keeping it that tight, I guess. But otherwise,
exactly. But again,
it's credit Alex Lyon.
Yeah.
Credit Alex Lyon. outshot 17-1 in the first period.
Dude, and they hadn't even
Like,
scored up to that point. They hadn't even scored a goal yet in 3
Yep.
games, and they got
It
one
wasn't even
shot
their own
in the
player that
first-
scored. It was
in the
off of Andrew
first
Peak.
period. That is true, yes, but they still hadn't scored before then, and I think that pretty much just sums up Sabres Nation right now. But I won't speak further.
But again, gritty hockey, and I love it because I thoroughly enjoyed watching every single game so far, and it kind of kept me on the edge of my seat. Where one
It's way different from last year. Like
way
first 2
different.
games, I was like, no, I can't already. This is not.
There was last year. There was games I was turning off, halfway through the first because I was like, oh, it's already 4-0. Yeah, I know how this one ends. Like, click.
I went to the first one of the first games last year. It was against, I think it was one of Montgomery's last games as a coach too. It was Bruins Nashville because I lived in Nashville this past year, and so I saw it at Bridgestone Arena, and I saw them get pumped 3-4-0. We left by the third goal, and then as we were leaving, we heard that the goal horn go off again. We were like, okay, well, we left at a good time, but that game stunk. Seeing that in person stunk. Was not fun.
Yeah. No, I agree with you both. I think it's a completely different vibe, and I think what the Blackhawks game did too, because that was kind of that was another team I think effort win because you got secondary scoring, you got primary scoring. You had Elias Lindholm, pot one into the net on the power play. Tanner Jeannot, got
You couldn't even hide it, man. You couldn't even go Tanner.
I can't. I can't listen. Steve and I have said it several times. Like, we bully him too much on the show. Like, he's probably the nicest fucking guy, but it's just like I just can't get the thought of $3.4 million out of my head. I just can't do it.
No trade clause for me.
That's it too. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, that is it. It's the no trade clause for me. That's the issue.
Guys, he's got 1 goal. Let's give him props.
He did.
And actually a -1. And Steve mentioned, I think, before we start recording, and a -1. So
listen, he was a big factor into that game as to why we won. He was very physical. I like that. I actually do like the way he's playing in Boston. I like the physicality because it's opening up the third line to do a lot of great things. I do. And you saw it in the Chicago Blackhawks game. Casey Middlestad also got on the board. Love to see that for him. He's 26, 27 years old. Needed that. He needed that.
Someone's still finding his game for sure. He's still finding it, but no, he's definitely good. But it's a matter of, can he fit our system and can he be what we signed him to do? Which I feel like the expectations with that are interesting. But
I think under Marco Sturm, he might thrive.
I think so too. I
agree.
We could talk about him a bunch at length too, how he's adjusted. I think it's awesome to see. Like, he's definitely gelling with the team so far, and they're liking that room. Hopefully.
And I don't think Victor Arvidsson has scored a goal yet, but he's been noticeable.
He's knocking on the door. He's knocking on the door. He had one nice move where he just went around the defense.
I can't get over his speed. I
like the way he's quick. He's on the smaller side, but he's quick. He's definitely quick.
He's quick. He reminds me a lot of the Jake DeBrusk type plays where
straightforward north-south speed.
Yep, exactly.
Just take it, go right down the ice, and then maybe try and cut wide, and then get a dirty shot or chance on net.
Yep,
and hope it goes in.
Yep, or a rebound and someone else taps it in.
Yep, which he's pretty much done for Middlestad so far. So that's good, and that clicks more than. You've got something there.
Exactly. I like those two paired together. I like the way that works. I think they complement each other a lot, and I really like that line. Actually, I was talking shit about it a little bit, but I'm going to recant my statements because they're gelling, and those guys are noticeable out there. And
speaking of noticeable, who's in the back, Cam?
The dog in the back making the noise is my boy. I don't know what's going on with him right now, dude. But he's just like shaking.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Stuff. That is. Hey. And now he's tearing up my bed. This dog's a fucking menace. Like, I don't even know. But he's making himself comfortable in my bed. If you keep
as he should.
He's unbelievable. Well, to be fair, I was out all day. He is my boy. He's my little boy. No, Kara and I were out pretty much all day today, so he hadn't seen me. So this is him being petty as all hell. In case you couldn't tell, he's
like, I'm here.
Crazy
I'm actually.
I exist. Yeah, he's gonna let me know it later too. The dude, you know what? My dog just loves licking people in the face. It's ridiculous. Like, he'll bark at you for 2 seconds, but the second you sit down, he's gonna be like, "So we're friends now," and I'm gonna let you know because I'm gonna kiss you incessantly. It's ridiculous, dude. Like it's
That's
nuts.
one way to make an
I
impression.
love the dog, but Christ, oh my god. So Fraser Minton.
So Fraser,
So Fraser, minty fresh baby.
what a steal so far. I know Toronto's hurting from it. Anytime I go to their Twitter or anything, their fans are saying they're just very upset by the fact that he's with us now. Like I saw someone like being upset at the Bruins admin TikTok that they made. I don't know if you guys follow much of their TikTok, but they made some TikTok with Taylor Swift's lyrics and they couldn't even play them because it's Taylor Swift, so you can't even play her music.
Of course.
But there's a mention of like Minton in there, kind of like a slight jab at Toronto. Everyone's like, "Oh my god!"
Oh, Toronto's gonna look back in probably 5-10 years and be like, "Why the fuck did we trade this kid? What the?"
I thought they would learn their lesson with Tuukka Rask. They had Tuukka Rask before, and people forget that sometimes. The casuals might not know, but we got him from the Maple Leafs for Andrew Raycroft. And I think if you go and talk to anyone in Toronto, who knows a little bit about hockey history, they'll say that is the worst.
I think
trade.
even Andrew Raycroft himself will just take a look at that and be like, really? Yeah.
He looks back,
I was definitely not.
We did that? He was like, how did I get sold for it? It's crazy.
To add insult to injury to
like-
Leafs, Andrew Raycroft is like announcing with the studio booth with like Andy Brickley and Judd Sherratt. Like it's unbelievable. Like everyone comes back. It's just is what it is. It's just
now he's on Nesson. So
it wasn't even just the fact that we got Minton for Carlo. We got another first round pick.
I keep forgetting it's Carlo too. Yeah, that trade slips my mind. Like I know he's not here, but I forget like that was a quick position.
It must make you wonder though, because he's fit in very well. I love his game. I love how he's grown. I love how Fraser Minton's playing on the third line. I think he has top six potential. Maybe on the wing, he may be better suited on the wing if he gets elevated. That would be my best guess. But you got him and a first round pick for Brandon Carlo. I'm like, that's a freaking steal. No disrespect to Brandon Carlo. He was one of the best
for him. I mean, a return for that for Carlo. That's
pretty
incredible.
good.
It's pretty good. You get someone who's under 23, who's seemingly he can fit into an NHL system, and he's having to prove that. I mean, he's done well in Sturms so far, but it seems like there's room for him to grow there. And yeah, that overtime goal was special. That was fun to watch. I saw it live. It was right after my game. I got done. I walked out to the rink lobby, and they had the game on one of the TVs, and we saw it live. He did. Picture perfect.
Ripped it. It looked like he was looking for pass too. He was
he sold it perfectly. In the side he was coming down on allowed him to take kind of like that off angle shot and kind of be elusive to the goalie. You love scoring those. Those are awesome.
I missed it. I only heard it through Steve's reaction. Because we were actually watching the game through this, right? So we were actually watching the game together. But I was actually on my way to the
like
rink.
a live stream.
Yeah, and he just goes, yeah, and I'm just like, who? Who did it?
Just exclamation, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
And I was like, who? And he just goes, I think it was Minton. It was Minton. Had to have been Minton.
Yeah, that's some young speed we have there.
I thought that was great.
Yeah, that's some young speed we have there, Steve. What do you think? Like a player like that, a guy who's very like on the young side still. Like that's because we get dodged all the time for our prospects and our building, our prospect pool and our development. Like if this guy pans out, do you think that helps the Bruins rep with that and show that we could develop some actual young talent?
Well, I've had some issues with the Bruins young talent development. We've talked about this.
Way to go, Jack! You're gonna get him on a tear.
No, not.
Look, see, I knew already.
but I like the way he's playing. Yeah, and you know what? He's going to grow into a bigger role with this team over time, and it's going to solve. Again, like you mentioned, he's a young kid, and he's gonna be on the team for a little while, and unless Don Sweeney pulls out of his bag of tricks again, and starts wheeling and dealing.
It really is a bag of tricks, though. That guy, he makes the random moves.
He does, and it's.
But he also brings in great talent on the trades. It's just,
I know as much as you can dog Sweeney as he's done some good stuff. I mean, you can't ignore, you can't go over the bad stuff without saying anything good that he's brought to this team because he has. But then also he does some dumb shit.
He does some real dumb shit.
Tana Janot, $3.4 million.
Exactly, but the fact that
if you were GM, you would be like, "Here's $700,000, take it or leave it."
To him.
Yeah.
I don't even. Yeah.
Whatever league minimum. No, you would do like 1.5. I mean, but I think that's what he should realistically be earning. I mean, enough about his contract, but regardless, I mean, it's
regardless, he's going to grow into a big role here,
Yeah.
and it does bring some of that young talent in who can develop. And I think give it this season, next season, who knows with what contracts happen, all that stuff. But this kid's going to stick around for a while. He plays Boston Bruins style hockey, and he fits really well into what Sturm's trying to get done and accomplished. And if it's not broke, don't try to fix it, right? Especially, there's a lot of things broken with the Bruins, despite being 3-0. But the fact is, it's if you got a young talent and you can lock them down and keep them out there, yeah, you might as well. At the end of the day, the reason why we were not as successful as other franchises is because we let go of young talent. We don't bring back young talent. And then, Don Sweeney and Cam Neely kind of close the door on young talent to bring up and just trade them away. So I like this kid, and I like how he's going to develop. Honestly, I can tell he's going to develop very well in the NHL for the Boston Bruins.
He helps the top 9 improve immensely. Sorry, no, I'm just saying he helps improve the top 9 like immediately better. Now it looks.
I agree.
Yeah.
No, I it's a great point on Min. You guys brought, and like and to Steve's point too. It's like, well, when you talk about like bringing guys up, like when you're competitive for a decade, you do teams will tend to run their prospect pool thin because that's how you get the better NHL caliber talent all that's already there.
How do you think Tampa was so good? They traded away everything that they had. They sold the farm
Vegas
to get them to get cups. And Vegas
does that too. And I think you could argue the Panthers are looking into that direction as well. The Leafs are in that direction, in an event. That's just that cycle. But on really not bringing talent up today, just to bring up points that you guys made with the young talent, Lysell and Patra both had 4 points today in the Providence Bruins game against Charlotte. They were down 3-2 going into the third period.
At least. Yeah.
Yep, he did. Now. That doesn't mean it's going to translate into the NHL. I understand that, but also you can clearly see.
That's been the case so far. It's been the case, but you can see that the talent's there, right? Like we're not crazy to say that they're not good hockey players, but again, it's a matter of difference in the jump, and if you can adjust to that and what comes with it, and I think that's another thing for Sweeney. One of his just classic lines. I mean, he needs to get better at not better, maybe just be more appreciative of some young talent and giving guys actually go and stint for a little bit. And sometimes those stints don't work out, but like I liked Patra and what he brought, and I think he can still be an NHL player, for example, but I think he also got rushed in weights too, and they maybe expected more of him. But that's just solely him, maybe, but there's others.
Yeah. But no, glad Frazier got that opportunity. Glad he got that goal. I liked the game against Chicago. It was it's your first back-to-back. I'm not taking that one with a grain of salt. I think Chicago's a team that we should have beaten, and we did. So thank God for that. Because it was Soderblom in net. It wasn't Spencer Knight. So you didn't have an excuse losing that game. So and it doesn't make sense to go beat the Capitals and then lose to the Chicago Blackhawks backup goaltender, even though their legs are a little bit fresher than yours. I was really struggling to get that out. And then
you're getting there. You're getting there.
I love the support. At least there's support here. God damn! Finally,
Dude,
God.
I support you, man. Trust me. It's just not this week. We're not going to be. Me and Cam are about to not be friends very soon. We're about to be all over each other's faces. No, I'm kidding.
Thursday, you and I are just not going to talk it at all.
We just walk by each other, not say a thing.
I'm not even going to fucking acknowledge you. If you and I walk into that rink together, I'm literally, if you're right behind me, I'm going to shut the door right in your face just to make this statement.
All right,
for everybody else.
All right. We'll see when we get out there.
We see how it is, Cam. We see how it is.
It doesn't matter, dude. Jack's going to blow right by me and with his speed, and it doesn't matter. Jack's pretty good. He's pretty fast too. So I admit that I suck at it, but I'm gonna at least try and do something.
Don't worry, buddy. You have a heart of gold.
He's so nice. You're not getting it.
No. Come on. Please surprise. No, I mean I'm gonna miss playing with you. It was fun, and it was my first time playing in the league. And this is a quick side segment, but it was fun. Maybe in the future we can try and request, but either way, this week.
This sounds like such a bad breakup. Like,
Like,
Be a Taylor Swift song.
you know what? It worked
I
out in the
know,
end.
right?
We'll still be friends.
Oh,
Siri,
man.
play a love story.
Oh God, no, great song though. I'll listen to that at work on my drive into work tomorrow. Just be like he still
Cam, we
cares.
need to change these vibes. You're giving off sad boy vibes.
I know.
Yeah,
Well, no more sad boy vibes, dude. I don't know. We're gonna talk about Buffalo. That's the last game we have to talk
All right,
about.
yeah,
We'll
no, we
just shoot the
definitely.
shit. I mean,
Again, it's Swayman. That's all you could say.
Oh.
Like a little bit through the game, I was like,
So
this is what we needed. This is what the plan and how it should have gone last year. But like, I know you can't avoid life without drama. Sometimes it's par for the plot. I get it, but like, God, I hated seeing him go through that because it totally threw him off to like a different player than what he's expected. Which is this? It's been amazing to see, but I think he can maintain it. But
He's got to.
He's got to. Literally, he's got to if we want to be competitive.
Yeah, he's got to. It's going to come down to him. I mean, it's at the end of the day, when Swayman is on his game, it is a much different hockey game, right? And we've seen it when, going back to 2 seasons ago, if he's on his game, they're dialed in. Last season, he was off his game. It was very apparent. And, 7-2 losses, 7-3 losses, 8-2 losses, right?
Gosh, I forgot that there was those ones too.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It is, but now that he's dialed in and he's getting some support from those bottom lines, playing some pretty solid D. PK.
That's true. We're executing again. I've said it a few times, but we're executing better than we did last year and helping him out at least. And this tandem has also had a year together. They've gone through it.
There's also been much fewer high danger opportunities. Like before, like last year, they could walk in on Swayman unchallenged. You're not seeing
our team
the first 3 games.
Anything.
Yeah, I've seen that very limited. Like, I mean, obviously, like it's very hockey's very dynamic, right? So like you're gonna get like one of those few high danger chances a game or something like that. But the frequency of it, like I went to the Columbus game last year where we lost, I think 5-0. That was, Montgomery's last game with the Bruins. And you could see the defense did not give a fuck. They did not help. They did not back check. They left
because there was no
system.
System. I mean, Montgomery couldn't play for a system. He wanted to leave. Like it was, there was no identity.
Yep.
And that's going to take some time to develop still. But at least you could see just their execution and support was off.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'll give credit where credit's due. Sturm's, you're talking about, the high danger shots coming in, high danger plays coming in. Sturm's changed up the defense, the neutral zone defense into, the defending zone defense a lot. They're stacking the bodies against the blue line. And they're making it real hard for any team trying to come in. They're locking the zone down, forcing them outside, and
he's
they're keeping away those plays
perfectly.
And the perfect example of that was Buffalo. That entire first period, they only got one shot. They couldn't enter it cleanly into the zone. Boston was stuffing them at every chance that they could possibly get. Albeit, yes, they were out Ukko-Pekka, longest last name fucking ever. Benson, Norris, like yes, they were definitely missing some guys. Owen Power almost didn't play because he was sick. So like they were missing.
That he had an illness. It was. I mean, that's so crazy. Sometimes we know we get sick, but sometimes it's crazy seeing when they have to get they get sick. But also they play 82 games. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. And I honestly, maybe if Norris and or at least one of the two, Norris Benson, were in that game, maybe the game's a little bit different because you actually have your offense there. Or maybe if they didn't trade away JJ Peterka for pennies. So I it's just. I actually expected Buffalo to be better defensively because they have Owen Power, Rasmus Dahlin, Michael Kesselring, Bo Byram. And
they have pieces there. What's the story? They have pieces there, but what are they put together?
Well, Lindy Ruff sucks.
Coaching is terrible. That's just is what it is. And again, he can't implement a system that actually works with the talent that he actually has on the defensive side of the puck, right? At the end of the day, it comes down to coming up with a system or implementing a system and sticking to it, and the players got to execute it. And I think, we're comparing, the Sabres to the Bruins in this case. It's like, hey, this is what happens when you have a coach with a clear direction and a clear mission to set something up and implement something. as opposed to someone who's kind of just wandering around and just kind of not really putting the pieces on the board the correct way, right? So I think that's like the two sides of the coin with that. It's just you got a system, you got to implement it, and regardless of who's on the defensive end, you still need a system, and you still need back checking. You still need all these other things, and the system that Buffalo's doing is not helping any of these pieces put it together.
I'm gonna call it like, and I don't know if you guys will agree with this. Like, this was a tale of two cities. Lindy Ruff, it's like, presser after that was like, oh, that's the worst start I've seen. It reminds me a lot of what the Bruins were going through last year.
Yep.
Did that, like, it's like looking in the mirror, like, a mirror, like, of what last year was. Buffalo on paper and healthy, mind you, they do look like a playoff team. Like, that defense is a playoff caliber defense.
They should be better, and that's been a story for many years as well. And then
They're not
being able to put together, but
they
always look good on paper.
Until they can't put it, they just can't translate it. But I'm also going to give credit where credit is due. Alex Lyon deserved a fucking medal for the shit that he did for them in that first period. Like, it could have easily been 5-0. Like, he was nuts for the Buffalo Sabres.
He had to save almost 20 shots in the first period.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, outside of that one goal, I honestly thought Lyon could have easily made a case. If that is how the game would have continued at that pace, and one goal was still only let up by Lyon, I would have given him the first star. I don't care who got the game-winning goal. I mean, that guy did put in work. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to give that credit there.
He was a factor for them. He's why they hung in for as long as they did. They got saves. But
and then Andrew Peak made an accidental tip into our own net, but that happens. That's fine. That the wacky bounce, what have you.
Zadorov almost put another one in too.
Yeah. Well, Zadorov also buried a lot of people into the board. Zadorov this week has been a fucking absolute animal. If
he's
you're
an animal, dude. He's
an
animal, bro.
He buried Rinzel in the Chicago game.
I saw something today. He's been holed to 2 penalty minutes through 3 games so far. I mean, you can check my
Thank
math,
God.
I mean,
I know, right? Masterson.
Yeah.
Last year looked like he was going to have like 50, 60 plus. I mean, I don't know. I think he got still a lot last year, but I mean, he's got to keep it more tame because he's valuable to the team when he's on it and playing good. I mean, he's why our defense is rock solid still. That's not going to change, but.
And Henry Yoki
in a lot of ways. He breaks up a lot of plays, and you know what? He takes those hard. I don't know if you guys were watching this, but it looked like to me during that Buffalo game, there was a few, and even the Chicago game, there was a couple instances when they were breaking into the zone, and the puck was on Zadorov's side, and they're like, "I'm not gonna go get it. You can go get it." And they both kind of just was like, "Fuck it, Zadorov will get it because I'm not rushing into the corner with that fucking Russian monster." It is what it is. It's the fact that he brings a presence to the game, and it can be clearly seen.
I just checked as well, and I was very off. I took a very low guess, but he had over 140 penalty minutes last year, 145 to be exact. So
yeah, he had some fights in there.
He did, which adds up. But again, he's only through 2 so far. So to complete that, he's only. I mean, that's better.
I'll say this: most of those penalty minutes, though, if you actually look at the time, when those penalties were taken, were before January 1st. The majority of his penalties came before I think
so. No, his first chunk he had way too many, and then he did give him credit. He did cut it down as it went on, which helped. But the first part it was way too much.
I think Henry Jokiharju is the best goddamn thing that ever happened to Nikita Zadorov because those two are opposites.
Mm-hmm.
I see Jokiharju as a good puck moving to a defenseman. Can play. He's fast, which we all know if Zadorov makes a bad pinch, he's going to get beat. He does not have the speed to recuperate.
No.
So best thing never happened to him. I like that. I like the way Mason Lohrei is progressing. He still needs work to be done with him, but I don't hate him with McAvoy. But my biggest concern with McAvoy, with with Lowry with him is that it takes away from McAvoy's offense if Lowry cannot be depended upon on the defensive side of the puck. So
because that's the thing.
that's
I mean, that's the defensive awareness needs to get a little bit better there. And yeah, I like how he's playing so far too. But that's going to be a main thing for him moving forward as well. Is if he can keep developing on that and be able to become reliable. So in a sense, he doesn't hinder McAvoy in any way, or you say cause him to be on the wrong side or whatever.
You know what? I'll give credit.
It's
credit's
only.
due. Sorry, Cam.
No, go ahead.
When those defensemen are pinching in, there is always a winger cycling back up and taking a spot and covering the Z zone. And you know what? It's not just the first line. It's not the second line. It's all four lines up and down. And that offensive awareness throughout the lineup. I'm not saying that the best offensive team, but that offensive awareness, by the wingers of Boston, it's definitely noticeable now. Where
it's so much better.
It's so much better. Again, go ahead.
Transition game is nuts.
The transition game has gotten a lot better too. And it's just I've been noticing that even the third line, fourth line out there, when those D men are pinching in, there's always someone there to replace that D man to help the defenseman stack it back. And I think that, again, credit to Sturm with his defensive zone, the strategy behind stacking up the blue line, having a winger back or center back to make that entry a little bit harder for any opposing team. I think that contributes to what kind of is going on in the mindset of all these players, where it's like, okay, he's pinching, someone's got to get back. I notice it. I'm right there. I'm going to take it over until he gets cleared out. And, it's also leading to a lot of offensive opportunities by everybody. I mean, they'll cycle it back up, get a shot off, or cycle it back up and move it down the boards, and then cycle it back up to the point to get a shot off. It's the transition up and down in the offensive zone is there, and it's noticeable.
It's only been 3 games, but honestly, through these 3 games, it's really hard to nitpick and find things that have been bad. Like, could you probably point out a couple things here that they could do better? But you could, at that point, you're nitpicking. Like, you know what I mean? There's always going to be something in the game that somebody wishes that they could have back or do better. Like, but I'm not seeing a huge amount of problems yet. I mean, in the Capitals, the biggest issue was the lacking of shots, right? Like, we could probably already agree on that, but that's a good defensive team. Like, you know what I mean? And we're not exactly the most offensively gifted team. So there's going to be some give and take there.
And the penalties came in and contributed to the amount of shots in the differentials between the shots. When you jump up and they're getting 5, 6, 7 shots in a 2-minute span because they're just in the defensive zone or in their opposition. The opposition is in their offensive zone. They're keeping it there. They were there for like 4.5 minutes at one point, and again, Swayman standing big and coming up with a lot of good saves, and they just were having trouble breaking it out. And that's where a lot of those shots came from. I don't think that if we got into penalty trouble there, that the shot differential would have been too exaggerated. Not to take anything away from the Capitals, but I think they kind of bulked up on all of those penalties. So.
And regardless of any penalties, through 3 games, we're perfect 12 for 12 on the penalty kill.
Yeah, I'm not complaining on that.
12 for 12.
If I am gonna complain,
it's
about
nuts. It doesn't seem like it's real, but it's nuts.
Well, no, you know where the 12 for 12 does surprise me? It would surprise me with Chicago, because they do have the firepower to actually put one in the back of the net, and especially going again. And I'm not trying to knock Korpisalo. That also wasn't Korpisalo's best game. But if that's the night where you would have expected them to take advantage of the power play opportunities. But again, I'm not going to complain about the penalty kill. There's only one thing that I think I will complain about this week, and it is Charlie McAvoy quarterbacking the power play.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It hasn't worked.
I feel like it hasn't. And the only reason why I say that is, again, great, talented player. I think McAvoy is easily a top 10 defenseman in the league. I don't think there's really much of a debate there, but he overcomplicates the power play. Maybe not just him, but also the Bruins as a whole. They're always looking for the perfect shot. No,
it drives
get the
me
defense moving.
insane.
Yeah, it's a
I
game
still-
of pass.
shoot.
It is a
I
game
yell
of pass.
shoot all the time. Even my dad as well. He's like, "Can they shoot it on the net?" I'm like, "I would hope so."
That's what they're paid to do.
Yeah,
But
they're paid to do a handful of things, but shooting would be nice. Shoot at the thing, the person standing in front of it. Shoot
Yeah.
at the goal.
All right, so I'll ask
Yeah.
you this then: who would you like to see quarterback in the power play?
Low-Rye.
I think if he's
Yoki
healthy too,
Haru.
Hampus. I think Hampus as well.
Yep.
Yeah, if that guy can.
I got 3
stay
guys:
healthy,
Low-Rye,
healthy.
Hampus, Yoki Haru. Those 3. Wouldn't care.
Wow, Yoki Haru. Okay,
That's an
I
interesting
feel like
pick
he
for me.
could just
I don't know.
move it. He moves it quick. The only problem I have with McAvoy is that it's always 1 second too long. It's always 1 second too long. It's never.
You would think you
he
want to make
gets
that
it.
pass or that play sooner, but and then
Yeah.
by the time it goes, it's not. It's red. It's
Because
not getting through.
by then, right? Like if you know you're going to get the puck because they always do the low to high game to McAvoy, you should already know whether you're going to shoot that puck or pass it to Pasternak on your left. You should already have that inkling of knowing what you're going to do. You're driving that play.
Mm-hmm.
Or whether you go back to the bumper and Lindholm. You need to have.
And having someone hesitant there doesn't
option.
work. It doesn't work.
Yep. So it's whatever. And plus McAvoy, when he's pressured at the point, it's not. He's
given it up before.
Mistakes. Yeah.
And he'll make
Low-Rye has too.
Exactly.
But Low-Rye will also prefer to get it deeper. Like I just don't like the whole let's play the perimeter piece to it. So that's a piece I would say they got to work on. I think the penalty kill is good. But again, if I'm going to take one thing that I think they really need to work on this after these first 3 games, same story from last year, the power play. And now I think they're like 20% on the power play or something like that. So it's not a bad number. I'm not saying it's a bad number where they're
I have
at.
to pull it up too, I think. But yeah, it's not horrible.
Yeah, Jack, would you mind? Yeah, could you check on that? Because I don't think it's a
I'm
bad
trying
number.
to do,
but
I'm trying to do some like live checks throughout as I go, and I'll get better as I go.
Love it.
Love it. They are 18.2% for the 2025-6 season so far, and oh god, for the last year it was 15.2%.
Yeah,
that's insane.
It's an improvement.
It's an improvement
Marginal.
so far. Again, it's 3 games. It's 3 games, but already, if that's better than at least a whole 3% better than last year. So.
how many opportunities?
But against the Blackhawks and Sabres, you needed a score. Sorry, Steve. Go ahead. Say that again.
I'm just curious on what's the number of power plays that we've had through 3 games.
9.
9, and they've
9.
Was it just one?
We've drawn 9, taken 10.
Yep. That sounds about right. And,
Yeah. It says here, the Bruins have 11 power play opportunities this season. So, I think
11.
11.
Oh, okay. Well, then my stat might be dated because I posted it on Twitter.
And also this is from a random site too, so
I
I trusted. But either way, it's good.
I think I posted it while the game was still going.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Okay, I'll take it. But that's my one gripe. Outside of that, I think it was a great week. I think a lot to build on. I think a lot to be excited about. And I think what excites me most about the team is that I have 0 expectations. So they're just fun to watch. Like I'm not expecting them to make a run at the cup. I did place a $25 bet though on them to win the cup. So if that happens, I get $3,000.
What were the odds? What were the odds?
So
what would you get? What would you get for it? What are your odds?
It was like plus 9,500.
Oh my god!
So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I'll lose. So if I lose, I lose $25. Whatever. But if I win. Huh?
I said, just put the farm on it. That's called putting the farm on it.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys brought this up too. I went on to FanDuel the day, probably about 20 minutes before the season started, and I have a picture here of the Stanley Cup winner for the top 10, I believe. I think it's top 11, but top 10 I'll give you. Florida Panthers plus 750. Dallas Stars plus 850. Edmonton Oilers plus 850. Carolina Hurricanes are plus 1,000.
I think
Avalanche plus 1,000. Vegas plus 1,000. Tampa Bay plus
way too low. Hold on, way too low.
Yeah. Whoa. Vegas has got it. That doesn't add up, right?
Yeah. So Tampa Bay is at plus 1,200. Jersey 1,300. Toronto Maple Leafs 1,700. I don't know how they get. Who in Vegas is coming up with this shit? The Jets.
They're just putting Vegas above Toronto. That's all they're happy about.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. The Jets at 1,700 as well, and LA Kings at plus 2,200. So I mean that top 10 is again, I feel like genuinely that Vegas is too low, and I think Florida Panthers are too high.
Yeah,
I mean,
we've seen through the first few games that Florida's not backing down. They're not going anywhere still, and I don't know how sustainable that is because they are the pieces of what they're missing. It's notable. You can't not go around it. But if Marchand plays up to play for what he should, tier rolling down, and other pieces come up, they'll be pretty good this year still. Again, I mean, people forget they finished third last year. They didn't finish in great standing for playoffs, and obviously we see that does not matter, and they just need to make it. But they had under 100 points. They sneaked in to Chuck. See, Cam, that can be a tough one. But he was out for so long after the Olympics too, and they made it in. They were fine. So God, that's gonna be tough as the season goes on. That's gonna be fun to talk about.
I'm pretty sure the Bruins mentality is right now is like, if we can get in, we can do anything. And I think that's where they're going to be. I personally still don't think that they're going to get into the playoffs. I think they still end at 6th, but that doesn't mean I'm not excited.
It's still so early. I mean, it's be insane as our predictions go on, but I'm with you too. I think they might finish a tiny bit above that and a chance to maybe squeak in, but also realistically, I'm probably more with your pick for where they're probably going to end up, but high hopes,
Yeah, I mean, I got high hopes.
Originally,
good.
Sorry, Steve. Let me say. Originally, I had him at 7th, but then with what I've seen out of Detroit and Buffalo, I'm actually willing to put them as high as 6th.
I'm willing to put them as high as 5th. To be honest with you.
Oh.
Listen, and you know what? Whatever. I'm gonna walk back some of my statements.
Whatever.
Fine. It is what it is.
Whatever.
But the way they're playing, again, we said this is going to be Claude Julien hockey, and not a lot of teams like playing that way. And it wouldn't surprise me if they end up 5th with some injuries, and with the way Buffalo is playing, the way Detroit is playing. Like it's up there. It's anybody's game. And again, I'm going to read a quick thing that my buddy sent me, and because we're talking about the Bruins and all that good stuff, and he's like. He's like, I can't believe all these people talking shit, putting them with Buffalo and Detroit, to quote him, he's like, both teams are trash until proven otherwise. Right. Which is kind of like what we're going on with here with the Bruins, where it's like, yeah, the Bruins are trash until proven otherwise. And they're off to a pretty hot start and nobody expected it. And honestly, I'm glad, because I really feel like this is quote unquote the Swayman fuck you tour. And
exactly.
That's just what it is. All the Felger and Mazes of the world, right? Talking shit about Swayman and Deal and everything like that.
And people failed to realize, he's still an elite goaltender.
Yeah.
That's contract negotiations and that stuff. You can't blow past that. But he's proven starting to.
You can't write somebody off after 1 year. If it was a continuous trend, sure. But there was no Bruin outside of Morgan Geekie last year that actually excelled.
Other than
I am excluding
Geekie, but
I'm excluding Pasternak because he technically did get 3 points, but he Geekie actually progressed. Like there was no other Bruin last year that you could actually say did that. So.
That's fair take.
That's where I'm just like, the whole team was freaking shit. It wasn't just Swayman. Like there were issues.
Yeah.
And this year it looks completely different. They regrouped. They got it. So I'm here to ride the high. I'm here to do whatever the fuck it is I got to do, to root this team on, because I will ride or die with this team. But I also want to be realistic. I don't think they're better than Montreal. I don't think they're better than Ottawa. I don't think
they're better than Montreal, at least. I mean, Ottawa, I think you make a case for that, but I think Montreal is still top. I don't know. That's just me. We can go into that more as the season goes on.
You've been talking to Rick too much about Montreal Canadiens. Let's get back to Boston, and let's get back to the real world, because again, that team is trash until proven otherwise.
Exactly.
So they barely beat the Chicago Blackhawks. Okay, guess what? I can't wait.
And they're in third right now. I was going to say we have to bring up the standings before this episode's done. The
There's only
standings
been
right
3
now.
fucking games. We're not going to bring up the standings.
Week to week, week to week.
Well, of course,
3
that's why
fucking
you
games.
say it. That's
But
why,
yeah,
Cam. That's why, because it doesn't make sense. And
Exactly.
and you talk about Montreal being trash till proven otherwise, and as it goes on, you see the changes. You can just see the narratives write themselves, and so it'll be interesting to see how teams like Montreal fall and go through the standings as the season goes on for how they're going to perform.
I will say, I think Montreal is going to take one step back, like maybe half a step, but then next year they're going to be like 2 or 2.5 steps better. That's what I think their year is going to look like for them, but I still don't think Boston is better than them. Whatever. And yes, you could say I've been hanging around Rick too much, but I don't know. It's a gut feeling, but I hope I'm proven wrong. I'm hoping I'm proven wrong.
And you know what? As it's bringing up early on, 3 seasons in, that's why you see as things can change very, very quickly. And we could talk about a different narrative with the Bruins, but hopefully, what Steve said, we want to ride the high, and as Cam said too, we want to keep riding the high and see if hopefully that can continue. But
guys, I fucking picked Buffalo to beat us on Saturday, so clearly my head is.
We know you did. We know it's been mentioned. It's incredible.
Me and Cam were texting about this. And
God forbid.
Like, people don't forget, brother. People don't forget. And
I'm not gonna forget now.
I'm not forgetting that. I'm not letting it slide. You picked the goddamn Buffalo Sabres to beat us at home. Get out of town.
Jack,
get out of town.
I still can't believe he texted me that.
Jack
I was like, no way.
Jack is going to score a goal, or he's going to skate by me on the ice. He just goes, "Hey, you want to remember that time you picked Buffalo?" I'm like, "Motherfucker."
That was pretty.
That's going to be his chirp.
I wasn't thinking of it, Cam, now, but whenever I see you now, I'll just use it as a step. It's perfect.
God, skate by the bench.
Buffalo.
Just watch out of my clothes on you.
I'll just skate by now. You go Buffalo.
And now that we picked that, I mean, we both picked the over there last week, right? Cam, me, and you. So you set the line at what, 2.5 points for this week?
Yeah, I think so.
Or the past week,
the under.
Did you take the under?
I think I took. God, I can't remember, dude.
Full. Look at that. We're riding the high.
That part I'm not keeping track of. The only thing I'm keeping track of is our actual predictions. I actually should take a prediction of the over-unders, which is basically our predictions anyway. If you think about it.
Listen, the week ahead is tough. I think those teams, it's definitely more of a competition. So I'm glad of the selection that they are getting to partake in, because it should be a good indicator. And again, you have a team like Tampa who doesn't have a win right now, but as we so hilariously about the standings, it's 3 games in. That doesn't mean crap. I think Tampa is still a very competitive team, and if they get going, they're going to be a great team to come out of the East this year.
Perfect example. Look where Edmonton was a couple years ago with their start, and then they made the playoffs, and then they made the Stanley Cup final. You know what I mean? Just anything in hockey can happen. They can go on a tear. All right, why don't we actually take a look at the week ahead, and then we'll do our Big Bad Bruin of the week, and then we'll get out of here. We have, as Jack and Steve mentioned, we have a week ahead of us. They're actually going to play 4 games. The Bruins schedule in October, and because of the Olympics and the NHL as a whole, a lot of front loading of games. So we have Tampa on Monday, which, if you guys are listening, it is basically today at 1 p.m. in Boston. Then we do our first West Coast road trip of the year to Vegas, then Colorado, then Utah. Those first 3 games.
The Mammoth! Sorry.
And then we have the Mammoth. Have a jersey. Love it. Love the team. Love the name. All for it.
Woo!
Don't care what anyone else says.
Love the Mammoth. Great.
Love the Mammoth.
Great mascot, NHL. That was a great pick.
Yep.
I'm down.
Could have had the Yeti.
Totally could have been the Yeti. But
could have been the Yetis, and I still wish they did that. Just saying.
Real quick.
But hey, NHL, you can't please everybody. Sorry.
Real quick, do you know the real reason why they didn't go with Yeti, apparently? From what I've read.
Because of the cups?
Reason?
Yeah, because of the licensing issues with the cups. Yep. There was a supposed licensing issue between the Yeti cup and using that as the name.
That was me putting 2 and 2 together and live right there. I was like, Yeti cup. What are you talking about? But then okay.
Which is fucked up because you have the Stanley Cup and then Stanley Cups.
Stanley's,
so I don't get it.
I think Stanley Cup came first.
Get it.
Just saying.
I've heard people use.
We had it first, bitches.
No, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying, because I've
fuck
heard
your
people
shit.
using context of talking, oh, my Stanley Cup, and I'm like, what'd you just say? And they're like, oh, my thing. I'm like, no, you just talked about the greatest sport trophy in sports.
Ever.
And that's what you're talking about. They're like, no, it's my
Don't
cup.
you
I'm
ever
like,
desecrate that name. Ever
Yeah.
desecrate that name. But tough week, guys. Tough week. You know, Tampa in a matinee, which, by the way, Bruins historically have not performed well in matinees. So
They really haven't.
then you got Vegas, then you got Colorado. Those, I mean, ideally, I understand Tampa hasn't won a game yet, but that's Vasilevsky, Hedman,
Yeah.
they still have a great
I'm surprised Cam had an L, but you know what? We're gonna see how it goes on. Would you like to comment?
I do
on
have
that,
an
Cam?
L. What, for Tampa?
Yeah, I'm surprised by that.
I think the line of Jake Gensel, Braden Point, and Nikita Kucherov is disgusting and arguably the best forward line in hockey right now. I think their depth in terms of like offense is better. I think we edge them out slightly on defense, but I think goaltending, Vasilevsky is a bit more proven than Swayman, but it's going to have to
Obviously, yeah.
come.
That's Vasilevsky, man.
But if you're going to break all that down and if you're going to say, okay, fine, the teams are pretty evened, then it goes to a coaching battle, right? And I think John Cooper is a better coach than Marco Sturm because he's just proven it. That's it. That's all my basis is. And I think if it comes down to a coaching battle, it's going to go to John Cooper.
Ye of little faith. Ye of little fucking faith.
It's called living in a sense of reality, but also I live in a sense of delusion thinking that Buffalo could have beat us. So listen, bear with me for a fucking minute.
I know. So why do we even bother to listen to him? Why do we even just let him speak? That's
I never said you're going to make millions off of me. That's all I'm just saying. Don't take my betting advice.
Now,
I mean,
Tampa
Jack, you have it as a win, so I need to hear your reasoning. Steve's probably going to say win, and I'm going to be like, kiss my ass.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, my reasoning is that that's one thing we mentioned with this episode. I think they're going to keep riding the high. I think our goaltending looks like it's pairing well so far, whether we use Corpy or Sway. Granted, like you said, Cam, that wasn't Corpy's best game against Chicago. But I think we just keep firing on all cylinders, and we turn the narrative of the afternoon games. But either way, I think it's going to be close. And if it does get out of hand, like it'll get out of hand quick, like whether it's score-wise as well or chippiness too, because they've been known not to like each other for either. But
sorry,
yeah, I mean,
either team. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I got you, man. I think it's gonna be close. I think they can edge it out, but also it would just make the most sense for a team coming in that's 0-2 when we're riding a high streak that we give them their first win. But I don't want to think that way. I'm gonna listen to my heart instead of my head. So I'm gonna think they're gonna have a close victory, and Men's gonna get the game winner again. But I'm probably gonna bite my ass on that, or bite something.
Just for
on
that, it's gonna be Tanner Janelle.
No, you can't.
Tanner Janelle's going for 30.
You can't.
Tanner Janelle's going for 30. Yeah.
All right, you ready for this, boys?
Jack's just like, I'd rather lose.
Yeah, no shit.
I like him though.
I'm taking Monday as a W. Big fat fucking W. All right.
Tell him, Steve. Tell the pessimistic one.
Tell me, Steve.
Exactly.
Please.
You know why? Because you just said it yourself. It comes down to blah 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 blah. Oh, we're a better defensive team. Yeah, guess what? Guess who has the last fucking change? The Boston Bruins. So Marco Sturm can put out the defensive side to counteract who he wants out there. The fact of the matter is,
you bring up a good point.
We're gonna blow out the fucking Tampa Bay Lightning. This is gonna be another gritty game, and it's gonna probably gonna be a 1-goal game. Let's just call it that, right? End of the day, if Stonewall
until the empty netter,
if Stonewall Sway keeps showing up the way he has, it's going to help shut down that defense. And if we have that last change, it's going to impact the defensive play and who's out there with kind of counteracting who's hot. That line you mentioned, if you can kind of play it back and forth however you want. But again, I'm not saying we're going to blow them out. I'm taking it as a W.
Yeah, I'm thinking a close one though.
Very close one.
But you know where this is where we're gonna really miss Hampus Lindholm, who, by the way, was scheduled to skate this morning. And I know we kind of missed this in the beginning of the episode, but Hampus Lindholm was scheduled to skate. He did not skate And I don't know whether or not he is traveling with the team.
I think it said he did. I think reports came out that he is going to travel. It's not. I don't know if it's a matter if he's going to play, but I think there's definitely a possible chance that he's traveling. So that's a good sign.
Awesome. I will say this, like, and I think that in a game like Tampa, you're definitely going to miss a guy like Hampus Lindholm, which, by the way, he is listed day to day. So hopefully he gets better soon. We just got him back, but I think that's going to be a tremendous factor there. And obviously, like, they didn't say it was anything related to the knee. So that's good. That's positive news. And that's what we want to hear. So, but that's where I think that's going to come in. All right. I'll give you guys that. Fine. You guys have, Steve, you bring up good points with the Boston having last change. Jack.
All right, let's go through the rest of these games before we bore anyone too long who's going to be listening, being like, these guys going to keep rattling on.
VGK, I have a loss.
I do too.
Team's too good.
Team's too good. They're just too stacked. I think him and Marner brings a whole new level as well. Marner Eichel is going to be a disgusting duo this season.
It's going to be so fun to watch, and I'm going to hate watching it, but I'm going to love watching it when they're not playing the Bruins.
Literally, but when they're playing the Bruins, it's probably
those guys.
It's gonna be tough.
Also, Bruce Cassidy.
I know. God, don't know. I'm not ready to talk about him yet. I'll get too mad. I'm gonna get too emotional. I swear. That one still rubs me the wrong way.
Colorado loss.
I chalked it up as a L as well.
Yeah.
Nice. They're again too good.
They're deep, man. They're still deep. You got Landeskog back. That is such an amazing storyline too. We could talk about that for an hour too. I think, because I think that story itself is an incredible one. But yeah, I think they're just too deep. They're just such a good team. They have been for a few years. But
McKinnon,
and then they have
Makar, Natchez. Disgusting.
They're just a good team. They're just a good all around team,
and they're just all around solid. They really are.
Utah, I actually have a W.
I do too. I think it might be one of the first games they win like 5-2, 5-3. Hopefully, again, I haven't seen how much Utah's played, but
I will say this about Utah. I actually like what they're doing. I like how they're building. I like I like it a lot. Fuck Logan Cooley, because if he thinks he's getting more than $9 million, he's fucking smoking shit. Like, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Cooley.
I saw it really quick. I saw a headline. I don't think I read an article, but I saw that he turned down something big, and I was like, I don't think that's the best idea, bro.
It was like 8x9.5. I'm like, dude, you're 22 years old, and then you can go make like $15 million. Like, you only played like 1.5 years in the NHL. You haven't earned $9 million. But then again, Kirill Kaprizov got 17 million. So, but then again, at least he proved something.
That's correct.
I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah, he proved that the Minnesota Wild have no more money to spend on talent to bring back to the team to make them
but they kind of do, though. It's kind of crazy. They actually do have money. It's just nuts. Oh, doesn't matter. They're the Leafs of the West. Fuck them.
That's such a good way.
All right, so just to recap that. You guys both have win, loss, win. I have loss, win. All right. Fuck you guys. You guys are bums.
Steve, I can't wait to
leaving me out to dry.
I can't wait. I can't wait to go. Especially even if they go 4-for-4, 3-for-4. I'm gonna be.
Yeah. I am turning my phone off. I am turning my phone off after like 3:30 tomorrow. If the Bruins win, I'll never hear the end of it. I'll never hear the end of it. All right, guys, let's get into the Big Bad Bruin.
I'm gonna be texting you through the whole game. Like, I'm gonna do it. I swear. I'm gonna be
loser. Loser.
Yeah.
Just wait, guys. I'm gonna go on a streak, and you guys are gonna absolutely just eat it. He's gonna absolutely eat it. Watch.
Hey,
it's gonna be great.
I hope you get hot. I hope you get hot.
Good. So, all right, guys, let's go into the Big Bad Bruin. Let's get out of here. For those of you who are listening for the first time, the Big Bad Bruin is just who we think in the past week has basically exemplified being the best Bruin on the ice. Think of it as like your 3 stars of the game, where we just give our thoughts and opinions on who we ourselves think deserve that honor. Jack, actually, why don't you lead it off? Because I think you're the only one that has something different other than Steve and I.
I stand out from the group. Yes, I do. I have
so special.
Too special. For my Big Bad Bruin, I have Elias Lindholm. Why may you think that? Well, he looks like, as people have quoted online, looks like to be shot out of a cannon. he seems to have benefited from a healthy offseason and camp compared to last year, where he was dealing with a nagging injury and first taking on a contract with a new team. And, obviously not that the money's a bad thing, but that's an adjustment to move to a new city and get going and everything. If you don't live up to that, what else is there to do? But right now, again, firing on all cylinders. He has, I think we have here 4 points in 3 games played. And he has a total of 70.6% at the faceoff. So he is well over 50%. And even though it's 3 games, that's insane. And if he continues to play up to this level, I think he makes an argument for being a reliable 1C for the team, that being, first line center, especially if other pieces of this team, step up to great, solid offense for the team. If he can benefit from it, then the entire team will. And so, yeah, I just like how he's looked in 3 games. Granted, some of his goals will come on the power play, but you need your special teams to click. And if he can help them click on 5-on-5, I think that's just great for the team. So I am happy to choose him as my Big Bad Bruin.
Love that.
I really don't hate it. People, honestly, though, Jack, haters will. The haters will.
I know. And guess what? I picked him on fantasy. I have on fantasy, and I just moved him from my bench onto my roster because of the points he's been getting. And I don't know if it's sustainable. Again,
I hope that, guys. I don't even care if it's sustainable. 76% on the face-off dot is
get out of here.
Get
out of here. Yeah,
unreal.
Get out of here. And
it's 70.6, not 76. If it was 76%.
Oh, I heard 76. But either way, 70% on the face-off, almost 71% on the face-off is still unfucking real. Like, if anyone wants to talk shit about that pick, give him the 4 points in 3 games and then the 70.6% on the face-off. Then tell him and ask him how many fucking face-offs did we win last year. Like that,
that starting off the bat is great. And 70.6. That might have been a little slip. Wow. But I'm just happy with how he is playing, and it's great. Great to see. And he's starting off healthy. He looks up to speed, and if he contributes, that's huge for the offense and for himself, his contract, but for the team itself. So, all right, guys, we want to talk about your love for Swayman.
Steve, do you want to go first, or you want me to go?
Yeah, I'll go first. Again, I'll give credit where credit's due. I was talking a lot of shit about Swayman. I
think we all were. I think a little bit on the downside. If we love him, we're a little bit like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, and you know what?
Again, I was defending him, but
I mentioned the Swayman fuck you tour, and I'm here for it. I love it. He's making me eat my words, and I'm happy to say that I'm eating my words, because if he continues to play the way he has, I mean, that's how your goalie who's making $8 million a season should be playing. And he came up huge against the Capitals, and he made some amazing saves there. And in Buffalo, I mean, again, I mentioned it before, that game was a 2-1 game for a long time until 2 seconds left in the game, and he bailed you the fuck out several times on some really, really bad defensive zone breakdowns because they were tired, and he showed up, and that's what I was looking for. I was talking shit, and again, I needed him to show up, and he did. He showed up big this week, 2-0 on his starts.
We need you to talk more shit.
Keep the reverse psychology going. Just keep saying bad things. It's going to turn good.
It's hard, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was great. It's really hard to pinpoint a time where he wasn't looking like he was where he wasn't locked in. Like, you know what I mean? He was 52 for 54, a .966, one, GAA. Like, you could argue, like, yes, he probably should have had the shutout against the Buffalo. I'm sorry, not in the Buffalo game, but things happened. It was a tip. Nothing he could have done about it. I'm not gonna gripe him on that, but it's great. And he has a 3.9 goals saved above expected, which is the third, or I believe it's the third or fourth most in the league. So that means he is saving more goals that have, I believe they deem it like 75% or higher, probability of going into the net. So that's crazy that he's basically saved you 4 goals. Because if you look at where those 4 goals probably could have came from, that you could be easily 0-3 if you did that math. It's nuts. So no, there really isn't too much to say about how well Swayman has played. Is it sustainable? That's going to be my question, and that's going to be where the test comes in this coming week.
He hasn't had to play a
But-
full starter's load. I mean, last year was his first time doing so, and we
Yep.
saw the challenges that he did. I mean, he had a sub 900 save percentage. That's not good. That's not acceptable. And
Nope.
he's got an amazing.
Steve, what
one
did
right
I
now.
say this year? What did I say this year? I wanted between a 2.5 and a 2.8 goals against, and I wanted a 9.1 save percentage. Right. That was what I was hoping for
2.9. I think you said 2.9.
Yeah, if you can get 9,
I think you were. I think you might have been at 2.9.
Was I at 2.9? Either way, I mean,
think you're
we're
at
still
2.9.
we're at semantics here. It's 2.8, 2.9, same shit. Not really, but it's at the end of the day, if we need to make sure this is sustainable. And to your point about the load, this full starters load, I'm not even in opposition to getting Corpusalo some more games.
I think he should take a decent amount on this year. I think if he plays at least 30 plus, that's good. That's what
Going
should
to.
be doing.
They've said that. Yeah.
And you know what?
Yeah,
Because at the end of the day, if Corp does good against some really good teams, it gives him some kind of sort of trade stock too. That you can kind of play with if you want to bring DiPietro up or whatever. That's like way down the road. But at the end of the day, I think you want to keep Swayman healthy and you want to keep him happy. Corp has to step up a little bit and take a little bit more games, which I think in the long run is going to be good for this team to keep Swayman happy and healthy, especially when you have him for how many more years, right? Like you got to think about the longevity at this point, right? And I mean, he is young, but at the same time, I don't want a goalie getting burnt out and you can't do anything with him, and we're just eating a salary for how many years?
Yeah, but again, what we've seen so far, great, awesome, love it. Please keep doing more of that, and we'll be happy.
Literally more of that. Literally the same thing. Do not change.
Keep doing that. Just keep doing it.
Be a king. I don't know what you want out of me. But all right, guys, final thoughts before we close out.
Jack, you can go first.
Oh, okay. Me. Let's see.
By the way, Jack, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Didn't have much prepared for some final thoughts, but I think honestly, if they can get, what I would say, this is what I'll say: if they can get 2 out of 4 wins from what we have for this schedules week, I think that's good. And depending on what the teams it's against, will determine, moving forward as we, how to kind of judge and critique this team, because it's really about that, how much we can critique them and seriously see them as a competitive team. So again, I think if they can
against Tampa,
yeah,
I don't want to.
It's gonna happen, Cam. It's gonna happen. It is gonna happen. No, I think
I'll be glad
if they can get a win out of Tampa, Colorado, Utah, that'd be insane. But again, I think more realistically, it's gonna be they're gonna be Tampa and Utah, Vegas and Colorado. They could be close games, but they also might get the better of us. So
Jack, I will tell you this now. If they win out this week, it's going to be really difficult for me not to believe in them.
I know it's going to be
that
tough.
Is a gauntlet that you are facing.
I know, and it's your first West road trip too of the season. So yeah, I'm just hoping for continuation of good success and keep building on it in your culture, and hopefully we can keep talking about this good next time we get to or whatever. But we'll see. I'm just looking forward to texting Cam all day tomorrow, just to put it in his face.
We got to win first, but
we got to win.
I'm gonna get a good morning text of like, hey, guess what, loser? It's winning day.
Good morning. You still pick Buffalo over the Bruins, you ass.
These are fucking dicks.
All of it's going on.
Whatever. I own it. It was a not so solid pick. Whatever. Steve, what do you have to say?
I just love also as well. That was the least thing I was prepared for. I was like, okay, final. Like, come on, finish off strong, Jack. You're almost there.
You're almost there.
You're good.
A lot of what Jack said. I'm hoping to, pull 2 wins out of this week, especially, the Tampa and Utah. Again, if they lose to Colorado and Vegas in close games, they don't get blown out. I think that's actually a positive.
It's a win
for me. I'm just excited to watch the Bruins again. They're 3-0. I can't even fucking believe it. And Sway, keep doing what you're doing, man. I love it out there. Defense, hey, you're making some contributions out there. PK, doing great things. Keep at it. I hope to still see a 0 for whatever penalties next week. And honorable mention for Bruin of the week, Pasta, still doing things, still got 4 points. He's still doing what he needs to do, and I
love that,
I'm
man.
I love him too.
He's
and
just a scapegoat. He's just a scapegoat pick for me. I
Unfortunately,
can't,
he's
I gotta.
He's kind of become,
Yeah, he's a scapegoat, but he's still producing, and that's what you're expecting out of
Yep.
your number one star. And he needs to continue to produce. He's still got 4 points in 3 games, and I'm hoping that he, gets a game winner against Tampa next week or tomorrow, excuse me, and just continues to etch more of the points off of that 100-point season and keep going. Just keep adding to it.
Your grin
Damn.
reminded me of the look that Kendrick Lamar gave the camera after he called Drake a pedophile on live TV. Like
What a wild poll, I have to say. A crazy example.
You should have seen his grin the way he was like, I hope Pasternak gets the win.
Hey, listen.
Or the game-winning goal.
Oh, I saw it. Trust me, I loved it.
What else? I mean, listen, Kendrick Lamar, same energy. What can I say?
Man. Cam, what do you have to say to finish it off?
Honestly, man, I honestly, I don't fuck now. Now I'm fumbling, bro. No,
see, it's not. It's gonna happen to you too. If it's gonna happen to me,
right?
It's gonna happen to you.
If we do well this week, honestly, if we go and get 4 out of a possible 8 points, or even 5 out of a possible 8 points, I think that's a solid look in this week. I mean, I just think those 3 teams are going to be tough to play against. Do I think it's a possibility that we could do better? Yeah, I'm just tempering my own expectations. That might be a scapegoat, but no, I want to echo everything that you guys said too. Like, boys, just keep at it. We're 3-0-0. There's no reason not to be excited. You know what I mean? And there's also what seems to be a bright future on the head. James Higgins, Will Moore, they're doing well to start their their collegiate careers. Lysell and Merck.
What was that going to be, buddy? Collage?
That was going to be a really hard word. Is what that was going to be.
I'll say it for you. Collegiate.
Yeah, the collage. The collage.
I couldn't believe I was like, did he not actually say that?
Leave me alone, dude. English is hard.
Dude,
I'm gonna start speaking Spanish.
I went to speech therapy in elementary school to help with my speech because it was a little off
then
too. So. I know, buddy.
You know what's up. I could use it right now. Listen, just show some love, guys. No, I think it's gonna be a good week. Go, dude. Fucking go Bruins, right? Fuck it.
Go Bruins, man.
Go Bruins.
You heard it from HiBruiNation, Bruin Nation first. Did I say it right, Cam?
HiBruiNation.
HiBruiNation. We say go Bruins, and we say keep firing, boys. But
yeah, And as always, guys, fuck the Leafs, right? Fuck them. But guys, thank you for tuning into episode 8. Episode 8. God, episode 48 of HiBruiNation. Don't forget to like, subscribe.
You are off right now.
I am so bad.
I'm sorry.
Don't forget to visit don'tpuckwithmedia.com for all of our blogs. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, YouTube, comment, share, do whatever you guys want to do. Call me a schmuck for relying on the Let's Go Buffalo train. Losers can even whatever. But until next time, guys, go Bruins.